Hello students, welcome to AIMS India online classes. This is a chemistry session. Here we are discussing about elements and their classification. In the earlier sessions, we have seen different attempts for the classification of elements which were done by earlier scientists and their drawbacks we have seen. And even we have gone through the modern periodic table also, isn't it? Now in this session, we are going to see about the classification of elements into metals and non-metals in the modern periodic table. Okay, let us say about how elements are classified into metals and non-metals, where these metals and non-metals are positioned in the modern periodic table. Let us see this all. Okay, actually there are 118 elements discovered so far which are arranged in the modern periodic table. We came to know about that. In that, more than 78% of the known elements are metals. So most of the elements known are metals. They occupy left hand side on the central position of the periodic table, and at the right side there are non-metals generally. So the center position and the left hand side position of the modern periodic table contains mostly metals. So let us see about these metals and their special namings. Out of those all, first let us go through the alkali metals. The six elements classified as alkali metals are located in the group 1 of the modern periodic table. So if you see the extreme left side column of the modern periodic table contains 7 elements. We know those as hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium. Out of those, except hydrogen, the remaining 6 elements of this group 1 are called alkali metals. So elements classified as alkali metals are very reactive metals. That's why they do not occur freely in the nature. Always they will be available in the nature in the combined state only. For example, if we take sodium, sodium is not a freely existing element. Always it is available in the form of compounds like sodium chloride, sodium carbonate, etc. Because these metals are highly reactive metals. They will be always in the combined position only. Okay, alkali metals are soft and good conductors of heat and electricity. Yes, as we discussed in the earlier sessions, the exception from the metallic properties. Even though these alkali metals are highly reactive metals, they exist in the soft position. They are soft solids. Even they can be cut with a knife also, just like our soap. But the remaining properties are as it is. They are best conductors of heat and electricity. They are also ready to lose electrons. Remaining all properties will be similar to the remaining metals. Only at the physical state they are different from the remaining metals. Instead of being very hard in nature, these are being soft solids. And these first group elements are called alkali metals. Why? Because these metals form bases which are soluble in water. The bases which are soluble in water are called alkalis. So these metals are forming alkalis. That's why these metals are called alkali metals. Okay, first group elements are called alkali metals because they form bases which are soluble into water. What are those alkali metals? Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francium. These six elements are called alkali metals. Okay, in the similar way, next column to these alkali metals, those elements present in the next column are called alkaline earth metals. The six elements classified as alkaline earth metals are located in group 2 elements of the periodic table. So in the group 2, that means second column from the left contains these alkaline earth metals. Elements classified as alkaline earth metals are all found in the earth crust, but not in the element form, as they are also so reactive. Okay, these alkaline earth metals are also reactive elements just like alkali metals. That's why these are also available in the earth crust in the compound state but not in the free state. So when you compare the reactivity of alkali metals and alkaline earth metals, alkali metals are more reactive than alkaline earth metals. So the reactivity of these metals is somewhat less when compared to 1A group elements. But these are also reactive elements. That is why they are widely distributed in the rock structure as compounds. Okay, these elements are named as alkaline earth metals because these metals also, that is second group metals also, they form bases which are soluble in water. So these are also alkaline in nature, and most of these elements or metals are available in the earth crust. That's why these elements are named based upon these two reasons as alkaline earth metals. So the alkaline earth metals on the periodic table are beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium and radium. These six elements are called alkaline earth metals because these are available from the earth crust, and mostly these form alkalis. Okay, these are second group elements. Next, the metals present at the middle of the periodic table. They are called transition metals. The elements classified as transition metals are located in group 3 to group 12 of the periodic table. Means the middle portion of the periodic table, the middle 10 columns are there. Those 10 columns elements from 3rd group to 12th group are called as transition metals. Elements classified as transition metals are ductile, malleable, and can conduct heat and electricity. We know what is meant by ductile. What does it mean? The property by which an element can be drawn into thin wires. So, that property is called ductility, and those elements which exhibit this property are called ductile elements. So mostly these transition metals are ductile, means they can be drawn into thin wires. For example, if we take iron or copper or gold, we know these metals can be drawn into very thin wires, isn't it? That property by which they are drawn into wires is called ductile property. In the similar way, malleable. These transition metals are malleable, means they can be beaten into thin sheets. We'll be observing in our daily life too, iron sheets, aluminium sheets. So because here these iron and aluminium are beaten into thin sheets because of that property called malleability. These transition metals are malleable in nature. And even just like the remaining all element metals, these transition metals also are good conductors of heat and electricity. They can pass heat and electricity through them. So in this transition metals, they are in the 3rd group to 12th group in the periodic table, which are at the middle, isn't it? We might have observed this. In that, the first series, means the first horizontal row in these transition metals, contains elements from scandium to zinc. So the elements from scandium to zinc are known as first transition series, because out of these all for transition metals in the first horizontal row, that is in the 4th period, these metals are there. Those are from scandium to zinc. That's why these elements present in the first horizontal row of transition metals are known as first transition series. Similarly, elements that next line, the elements from ytterbium to cadmium. These elements are known as second transition series. And elements from lanthanum to mercury are known as third transition series. In the same way, the last column, the last horizontal row, actinium to copernicium. These elements are known as fourth transition series elements. In this way, the transition metals are there in the 4 periods. They are from 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. 4th to 7th periods, they contain these transition metals. The transition metals present in the 4th period, they are from scandium to zinc, are known as first transition series elements, and next second, third, fourth transition series. Okay. Now, lanthanoids. The lanthanoids are elements with atomic numbers from 57 to 71. These elements with atomic number 57 to 71 are known as lanthanoids. These metals are often called rare earth elements also. They are all silvery white metals which are often found in the same ores also. Okay. These lanthanoids are also often called as rare earth elements because these lanthanoids are available from the earth crust in the rare quantity. So based upon that, they are called rare earth elements also. They are called the lanthanoids because they exhibit similar chemical properties to lanthanum, the first element of this series. The first element in this series is lanthanum. So these all remaining elements also exhibit the same chemical properties just like lanthanum. So based upon this reason, these elements are known as lanthanoids. Okay. Next, in a similar way, actinoids. Actinoids are the elements with atomic number from 89 to 103. They are named after the first element of this series, that is actinum, because these elements from with atomic numbers 89 to 103, they exhibit similar chemical properties to that of actinum. The actinide group includes mostly man-made elements or synthetic elements, with only a few exceptions such as uranium and thorium. So these uranium and thorium are naturally existing elements, but mostly the remaining elements in these actinoids are man-made or synthetic elements. So the actinoids are most known for the elements uranium and plutonium, which are used in the nuclear reactors and nuclear bombs. So as these are radioactive elements, uranium and plutonium are used in the nuclear reactors. There, these bigger atoms of uranium will be broken into smaller atoms and they form new atoms there. While breaking like that, they produce enormous amount of energy. So that energy is utilized for the production of electricity and different purposes. So in that way, these radioactive elements like uranium and plutonium are used in the nuclear reactors and even in nuclear bombs also. In that way, these actinoids are most known for these elements uranium and plutonium. Okay. Now, the lanthanoids and actinoids placed at the bottom of the main section of the periodic table. You might have observed in the modern periodic table, there are two horizontal rows written separately at the bottom. So, the first horizontal row in that it is lanthanoids and the second horizontal row is of actinoids. So these elements from lanthanum to lutetium, these elements are called lanthanoids because these elements are followed by lanthanum and these all remaining elements exhibit similar properties with lanthanum. In the similar way, these elements are called actinoids which are having similar chemical properties with actinum. Okay, these actinoids and lanthanoids together generally called as inner transition metals because their position is given in the transition metals column only in the third B group, third column. But to make it convenient, if these are also written in the main section of the modern periodic table, that becomes very lengthy. That's why to make it convenient, these lanthanoids and actinoids are written separately at the bottom of modern periodic table. That's why these are specially called as inner transition metals. Okay. Now let us see about the classification of elements into non-metals. The elements which are classified as non-metals. Non-metals are located in the group 14, 15, 16 and 17 of the periodic table. That means almost at the right side of the periodic table. These are present on right side of the periodic table. Compared to metals, the number of non-metals is quite low. Around 25% of the elements are only non-metals. Remaining almost all are metals only. Okay, these are present in the right side of the periodic table. In these, out of these non-metals, some of them are carbon, phosphorus, sulfur, selenium and iodine. These are existing in the solid state, and only one non-metal is existing in the liquid state, that is bromine. Okay, we know there are only two elements existing in the liquid state out of all these 118 elements known. One is metal, another one is non-metal. The liquid metal is, as we know, mercury. In the same way, among non-metals also, there is only one element existing in the liquid state, that is bromine. And the remaining non-metals like nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, hydrogen, these all are existing in the gaseous state. So those non-metals are existing in the three states. Some are there in the solid state, only one non-metal in the liquid state, and some are in the gaseous state. Okay. Out of these non-metals, some are given certain special names. One of those special names is nicogens. The elements of group 15 like nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, strontium. These metals present in the group 15 of the modern periodic table. These group 15 elements are specially called as nicogens, which means choking or suffocating gases, because these 15th group elements like nitrogen, they form certain gases which cause choking or suffocation. That's why these elements are called nicogens. 50A group or 15th group of the modern periodic table elements are called nicogens. And next, one more special name is chalcogens. The elements of group 16 or 60A group are commonly called as chalcogens. Those elements are oxygen, sulfur, selenium and tellurium and polonium. These elements are present in the 16th group of the modern periodic table. So these elements are called chalcogens. The meaning of this word is ore former, ore formers or ore generators, because most of the metals are existing in the combination of these 60A group elements or 16th group elements. Based upon this reason, these 16th group or 60A group elements are called chalcogens. Oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium and polonium. So these elements are called chalcogens. And the next, halogens. Elements of group 17 are called commonly halogens. Elements present in this group are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine and astatine. These elements are present in the group 17 of the modern periodic table. These elements are specially called halogens. The meaning of this word is salt formers. So most of the metals on combination with these 7th A group elements, they form salts. For example, if you say chlorine is one of the 17th group element. So metals on reaction with this chlorine, they form salts. Example, sodium chloride, calcium chloride, magnesium chloride. In this way, these elements of 17th group responsible for the formation of salts. Based upon this reason, these 7th A group or 17th group elements are called halogens. Okay, this is about non-metals classification from the modern periodic table. So apart from these metals and non-metals, there are some other elements which can exhibit the properties of both metals and non-metals. So those elements which are having the properties of both metals and non-metals are called as metalloids. The 7 elements classified as metalloids are located in the 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17th groups of the periodic table in the staircase position, which are separating metals and non-metals. So some of these metalloids are semiconductors. Example like silicon. Silicon is one of the metalloid. So these are exhibiting semiconductor properties and can be carry an electric charge, making them useful for electronic appliances like calculators, computers, etc. As they are being semiconductors, they are used in the different purposes here. So the metalloids in the periodic table are boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium and polonium. These elements are classified as metalloids because these elements can exhibit the properties of metals as well as non-metals. Okay, this is about metalloids. And another category among the elements is noble gases. There are certain special gases in the periodic table. The six elements classified as noble gases are located in the group 18 of the periodic table. That means the extreme right side column of the periodic table contains these elements, which are called as noble gases, because these elements are most stable and least energetic. So they won't participate in the chemical reactions at all. They won't combine with any other elements, and even they won't combine themselves also. That's why these are called noble gases, or which are also called as ideal gases. The six noble gases on the periodic table are helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. So these are highly stable elements. They won't participate in the chemical reactions with other elements and even themselves also. That's why they are called noble gases. And mostly these noble gases are used in filling of advertisement glow bulbs. Often when you come outside in the night time, you can see some advertisement glow bulbs will seen on the market shops, isn't it, with the different designs and names. So those bulbs are filled with these noble gases. For getting different colors, they use different noble gases in those. And even one of the lightest gas is helium. So this helium is used in the filling of weather observatory balloons also. Okay, they are the uses of noble gases. In this way, overall elements present in the modern periodic table are classified into four categories: metals, non-metals, metalloids, and noble gases. Okay, thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel AIMS Today and visit our website aimstoday.in for latest updates on recorded videos.